Hey readers, let's talk about January 2024. Lori, welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, or welcome if this is your first time, and welcome to 2024. I am a little later than I wanted to be getting these anticipated reads out, but it's the new year, so we're ready, right? We're ready to talk about some new reads. I have, though, limited these today. I'm going to try to limit these all year because if I write down too many anticipated reads, I end up buying or acquiring in some way too many anticipated reads. And as you know, one of my goals this year is to read more of my backlist. So it would be good if I were able to do that without adding too many new reads as well. So let's get started. So the first one on my list comes out on January 2nd, and this is Anna O, and the author is Matthew Blake. This one is quite interesting to me. They all are, but this one really stands out as unique. So this 24, 25-year-old woman kills two people. She stabs them to death, and as far as the investigators can tell, there was no real motive. However, she is called the Sleeping Beauty because she's fallen into a sleep pattern that is called a resignation syndrome, which is very rare. So this doctor attempts to revive her or wake her up so that she can stand trial. And at some point, the tagline of this is apparently a quote by this person who says, "I'm sorry, I think I've killed them." It does sound very interesting to me, especially the unique resignation syndrome. And is she really asleep or is she just faking sleep? Like, I don't know, but I'm curious about it. I've never read anything that I know of by Matthew Blake. Another one that looks interesting to me is The Good Twin, and this is by Diane Saxon. Don't mistake this for another book called The Good Twin, which is by someone else. This one comes out on January the 12th, and it is about twin girls. Their mother dies somewhat unexpectedly, and they also have a younger sister and their father who are grieving also over the death of their mom. The narrator of this novel shares that her sister Sky, the twin sister, wants to go to university, and the narrator twin feels as though perhaps they shouldn't do that right away because their dad and their sister are grieving. The other sister goes on and charges off to university anyway. Well, then this twin finds herself pretty lonely and not really having this person that she's always had by her side to speak with about her grief and what's happening. So she turns to someone that she maybe either I'm not quite sure if it's someone new that she's just met or someone that she's always known, but anyway, she begins to confide in this person and then starts to realize that she's confided in the wrong person. So this is being dubbed as a psychological thriller. And I have missed thrillers because I kind of took a hiatus from them for the last little while. So I think that's why this one sort of appeals to me. And it will be available on Kindle Unlimited on January 12th as well if you have that subscription service. Another one that I have been looking forward to and actually just pre-ordered from Book of the Month Club, and that is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I read The Silent Patient. I have not read his second novel, The Maidens, but I do own it, and now I will own The Fury as well. I'm really interested in this one because it says it has a Glass Onion vibe, which I loved Knives Out more than I liked The Glass Onion, but I still like both of those films. Anyway, this one follows an actress who goes to a Greek island and she invites some of her best friends, and then a murder occurs. And so they're all kind of isolated as they were in The Glass Onion, and somebody in this group of people has committed murder. And that comes out on January 16th. Another thriller is by an author I have read before, and this one's called Only If You're Lucky, and it's by Stacey Willingham. Comes out also on January the 16th. It is also about a young girl who who is a freshman, I think, in college, and she's a bit of a wallflower, and she meets someone who then introduces her to a number of other girls, and they become friends, and then something terrible happens. You can see where I'm going with this thriller thing, can't you? The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels by Janice Hallett comes out January 23rd, although it's already been released in the UK, and you can get your hands on it pretty easily from some booksellers in that country. However, I have not purchased this one yet. I do want to read all of Janice Hallett's books. They're very, very good to me. And this one is amusing, but it has a really dark plot to it. This cult has a member in the cult who is pregnant, and she gives birth to what the cult believes is the Antichrist. And the baby sort of disappears, I guess, and they're not sure what happened to this child. This particular woman now who thinks she's found this adult child is also considering apparently whether the child is the Antichrist. Janice Hallett writes a very unique form of humor, and she writes very uh, well around groups of people, centered around groups of people that sort of have a common interest. The Appeal and the Christmas Appeal were both written about a an acting company of people who are in a small community, and they're novices, but they think that they're really special and putting on these special performances. Apparently this one, with this cult situation and the Antichrist, definitely will be humorous, but also it probably is plotted pretty well. I'm not sure if this is epistolary like the Appeal has been and those have been, but I will find out soon because I'm planning on reading this. And the last two come out on January 30th. The first one I'm going to talk about is called Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson. You may remember that he's also written the book Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I think that's what it's called. I never finished that. My partner has started it and hasn't finished it. So I'm not sure I'm going to buy this one, but it does sound like a great premise. And that is that there is a group of writers on a train, and they're a writing society. And this one is set in Australia as well. And everyone on this train is apparently very adept at planning, plotting murders, and perhaps getting away with murder. So something must ensue for them all to be suspects. And this one also has Ernest Cunningham in it, and he is the main character, the narrator in Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. This one is not a thriller or murder mystery per se, and it is set in Prohibition era Chicago. So it's called The Mayor of Maxwell Street, and it's written by Avery Cunningham. Again, it comes out on January 30th, and this is a debut novel. This one is about Nellie Sawyer, who was born into a Black family that is the upper class, and she wants to research more about the Jim Crow era and the injustices of Jim Crow America. And a biracial speakeasy manager named Jay partners with her to learn more about what's happened, and some things take a turn. This one sounds like a book that I would like to read since I live in an area where Jim Crow America was thriving, and I'm really considering pre-ordering this one. Okay, so that is my January list of anticipated reads. I think there's 7 of them, and I'm going to see how many of these I end up reading in 2024, 2025. We'll see. And again, I'm going to try to limit these monthly to a reasonable number of releases so that it won't become both overwhelming to you as well as to me. So I appreciate you being here today. And again, I wish you a happy new year and happy reading. Bye.